Well then, welcome to the channel and back to the Lake District. And if you're a regular to the channel, you might recognise where we are. We're in the same place as we parked when we did a couple of wild camps in the Northern Fells. The one where we got spooked by the farmer and the one where we got drenched. Well, the tent did, we didn't. So yeah, we're parked there again, and it's just a walk today. We're going to head along the Cumbria Way to Longlands, and from there we're going to head up towards Great Cockup down Trustmadore, Meal Fell, Little Scar Fell, and then back over Brae Fell. And the reason I'm doing it today is I've just got Great Cockup and Meal Fell to do, and that'll be the Northern Fells completed second time round. So that's the main objective of today. So let's have a quick look at the route. So now we see a mile and a third to Longlands, and then that's where we leave the Cumbria Way and start climbing into the hills. Just passing them belted galloways there reminded me of a time we were at Tarn House, and it occurred to me that everything was black and white. There was Charlie, the livestock were belted galloways, and the ducks were tufted ducks. So everything was black and white. Well, it amused me anyway. I'm easily pleased. Right, so we're approaching the Charlton Wharf, the ford on this track. The top of that beck we camped at last time we were out. No, was it last time we were out? Or was the last time we were out when we camped at Sykeside? I can't remember. Alright, so we're not going to go up Longlands Fell. I can see there's a couple of people on the way up there. We're just going to skirt around the bottom of the fells, like I say, until we get to Longlands before we branch off and start climbing up. And we're a bit later today. It's going up for 11. We've set off later. I knew there'd be no issues getting parked here, and the forecast was for it to be bleak this morning and brighten up a bit sort of after lunchtime. So yeah, we set off a bit later. It's all right now. There is the odd spit in the air, but nothing to concern us really. Right, on we go. And you can see Binsey in front of us there, and then Overwater to the left. And then looking over further to the left towards it's the Coaldale Fells and like Bath and all that. I can't remember the names of them behind there. And that's looking, you can just see like Skidder covered in cloud. That's Longlands Fell there. We're not going as high as that. The forecast was for the cloud base to pretty much stay round about 600 metres all day. So the highest we're going today is, I think it's 625, I can't remember which hill it is, but I think it's about 625, our highest point today. So we'll see whether we get clagged in or not. So we dropped down into Longlands and we're going to leave the Cumbria way now. Spin you around behind me there. We're going up that path, leads up through the bracken, and that leads all the way up to Trustmadore, like the groove between Mealfell and Great Cockup. But before we get there, we're going to branch off right and then go up like the eastern flank of Great Cockup, drop down into Trustmadore and up Mealfell. Right, so we're starting climbing now. We'll see you in a bit. So we're making good progress up by this wall, and it's a bit breezy down here. When I checked the forecast this morning, the wind speeds on the fell tops was supposed to be between 8 and 10 miles an hour. Well, it's a lot more than that down here, so what it's going to be up there, I don't know, as long as it stays dry. Have a look. That's our first objective, that's Great Cockup. So we follow this wall round, and then the main path carries on up towards Trustmadore. We're going to veer off to the right and then pick the ridge up going up to Great Cockup. Right, see you in a bit. So I think I can just make out our path going up the flank of Great Cockup. Just let me zoom in, see if I can show you. Can you see it there? So just above that tree, going up to the left of that gill. So that's going to be our route up. Nice and quiet, nobody else around, which, as you know, we like that. Right, on we go. So that's looking back down to Longlands, where we've come up that valley, and this hill here. Whenever I see a hill like that with like trees like that on it, especially if the Scots pines and just kind of a few of them on the top, I always seem to think there should be a gibbet on the top or something like that. Anyway, oh, it's going to get steep soon, I think. Right, see you in a bit. Now that's more like it. That hill there. Now to me that should be called Gibbet Hill. Right, on we go. So that's looking up Trustmadore with Mealfell on the left and Great Cockup on the right. And if you watched it was my first wild camp video on here. We contoured round like the middle of Mealfell to get into Trustmadore. So today we're going to go off, just make out, I think, that path going around there and up that flank of Great Cockup. Oh, and it's windy. I don't know what it's going to be like when we get to the tops. It'll be blowing a hoolie, I would imagine. Oh, so when we drop down off Mill Fell there, we're going up to Little Scar Fell, and then from Little Scar Fell back over Brae Fell. All being well. Right, we'll carry on. So we've left the main track that contours round. I don't know if you can make it out. Over my shoulder it goes through the bracken over there, round below. I think that's a little Cockup over there. And now we've started to climb up Great Cockup. So yeah, and it's got steep now, and it's getting windier as well. I might not be able to do any chatting when we get to the top. We'll see how windy it is when we get up there. Right, onwards we go. Well, we've come over Great Cockup and we've dropped down into Trustmadore here for our lunch. There was absolutely no point in me doing any filming up there, blowing an absolute hoolie. I don't know where Met Office got its 8 to 10 mile an hour winds from. It's at least double that. So yeah, we've dropped down for our lunch, and it's still spitting a bit. It's just, as I said, that it's just started to spit quite a bit. The forecast did say from midday that the cloud, it wasn't going to lift, but it was going to start breaking up. Well, it's 20 to 1 now, and I don't think there's any signs of that happening, to be honest. So I'm going to have my butties. Charlie's had his lunch, he's over there digging, destroying the environment. So yeah, I'll have my butties. And then we've got to slog up to Meal Fell, and then drop down off Meal Fell, and then up to Little Scar Fell, then from Little Scar Fell over Brae Fell and back. That's not too difficult. I don't think we dropped too far down off Little Scar Fell, and we're over halfway now anyway, but I think we've got most of the climbing left to do. Right, so I'm going to have my butties and we'll see you in a bit. So we've come over Meal Fell, so that's Northern Fells done twice, and you can see here the main path goes straight on up to Great Scar Fell, and we've managed to do that. So when you take this, the lesser left-hand branch goes over towards Little Scar Fell, and then from Little Scar Fell you can just make out, can you, the cairn there on Brae Fell, and over that, and then back down to the car. Charlie's loving it, look. I've been having a dig while I was having lunch. Right, onwards we go. So we've branched off onto that track that goes up to Little Scar Fell, and we're out of the wind a bit here. We've got great views. You can see over my shoulder there behind us, looking over Meal Fell and Great Cockup where we've just been. It's making me pant coming up here. Oh, I'm so out of condition at the moment. With the weather this summer, I've just been lazing around doing nothing pretty much. You know, like you sit around in front of the fire with your feet up during winter and put weight on. I've been doing that during summer, well, without the fire on. Oh. Right, onwards we go. Well, we're at the Col between Great Scarfell and Little Scarfell, and the route back now, it's identical to the route we took when we came back from our first wild camp on the channel. I don't know if you saw that or not, but we lost the path the other side of Brae Fell. So hopefully we won't do that today. So that's all the climbing done. I don't think we lose much height between Little Scarfell and Brae Fell. Famous last words there. Good views behind us there. Skid is clearing a bit, still got a dust in a cloud on the top. I don't know if you can make out on here, but you can just see the top of Bassenthwaite Lake. That's good. Right, onwards we go. So that's the last of the hills done, Brae Fell. It's all downhill from here, and hopefully we won't lose the path. I had a good look on our way along the track this morning when we set off as to where it drops down, so we should be all right. And I have seen somebody coming down this way before, so I've got a better idea of where it goes now, I think. So we've just under 2 miles to go, I think, back to the car. Right, so we'll carry on downwards. Well, we made it down from Brae Fell, pretty much on the path. It was nothing more than a faint sheep trod in places, but brought us out at the expected place on this path. And that's been good. I've right enjoyed that. It's been quiet. We've seen about 10 people all the way around, so that's good. And there's a nice quiet route to do some Wainwrights. I can thoroughly recommend it. I mean, we've done 3, but if you're doing it like purely to do Wainwrights, you could easily add Great Scarfell on and do 4. No, it's been great. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do the usual, liking, subscribing, ringing the notification bell, sharing, commenting, all that malarkey, and hopefully see you on the next one. Tra!